What's up, Star Wars fans? My name is Prince, and I am an urban acolyte. And I want to talk about Darth Vader and Saw Gerrera. And I'm going somewhere interesting with this short talk, but let me set it up. So I was on my morning walk, and I was listening to Tricia Barr, Teresa Delgado, and Sarah. Sarah, I can't remember your last name. I apologize. But like I said on another video, they are the hosts of the Fangirls Going Rogue podcast. And on this, the most recent podcast, Tricia was talking about how she was watching Rogue One on her flight back from wherever she was coming back from. And she said something about Saw Gerrera in Rogue One and how he's completely lost it. Like the dude is completely off his rocker when we see him in Rogue One. It got me to thinking about something that I hadn't thought about in months, and that's that Saw Gerrera shows signs of PTSD. He's extremely paranoid, and he is still in this gung-ho, kill 'em all by any means necessary. You know, he asked Jin, have you forgotten the struggle? Have you forgotten the fight? And Saw Gerrera, in a way, is a bit of a doppleganger to Darth Vader, and it's interesting because Vader birthed Saw as Anakin Skywalker, right? They have both seen war, and it's funny, that's like Saw's name literally is Saw War. Saw Gerrera, I know his name is a take on Che Guevara, the revolutionary, but it's like his name is Saw War. He saw too much war, and it has left him broken physically, mentally. He's a walking ventilator, and he needs dialysis, and that's not very much different from Vader's suit. Vader lost even more limbs than Saw. Saw lost his sister Stella. He probably lost a lot of friends. He lost a lot of soldiers that he personally trained himself in his struggle to free Onderon and to eventually free the galaxy from the tyranny of the Galactic Empire. Vader as Anakin, well, he developed these attachments as a child growing up on Tatooine. He became a Jedi, right? He lost his mother, and he blamed himself. I wasn't powerful enough to save her, right? He was constantly being chided by the Jedi about his attachments. And the thing is, the Jedi, yes, when you take someone as an infant and they haven't had the chance to become attached, to know attachment to family, to friends, when they don't yet have a fully formed identity, it's easy to teach them this thing about not being attached to things, to people, to circumstances, to completely go with the flow. But when you have someone who isn't born that way, you have to go about things differently, right? So if you think about the Anakin that we were presented in the novel version of The Revenge of the Sith, which unfortunately is no longer canon, it's beautiful. You see that Anakin Skywalker struggling with everything. The Jedi don't trust me. I don't know if I trust myself. I don't know if I trust Padme. She's worried about me, but I see her sneaking around talking to Obi Wan. Is there something going on there with him? Right? He's extremely conflicted. And so when he gets to the point where here's this person that I can trust, this person who tells me it's okay that I have a wife. It's okay that I have a wife and a child, and they're going to do everything that they can to help me save them, right? Then you see why he would pledge his allegiance to this person, why he would go against everything that for the last 10 years that he's been taught to believe, right? When he turns his lightsaber and severs Mace Windu's hand and basically severs his connection to the Jedi, it's easy to understand why he would so easily flip and turn heel. Also, you got to think about what are all the terrible things that Anakin saw. He just wants to end the war, to decide what am I going to do with this new family that I have, right? But I have these, I'm a general, I'm a Jedi, I have all these things tearing at me. And it's the same thing that a soldier experiences who's returning home from these endless wars that our American government has had our American military tied up in. And I'm not saying that as some war-hating tree hugger, because remember, guys, I'm a veteran too, and in many ways I've experienced, have and am experiencing some of those issues with trying to return to civilian life. Saw Gerrera is damaged mentally and physically, and for him, yes, they're still at war, but in his mind, he's never stopped fighting, even when his body was broken. Vader, on the other hand, could continue to fight because of the technology. Eventually, we find out because of the Force, right? When Silo V turns off his suit and Vader is still going, he's using the Force to sustain himself, even though he literally has an off switch to his suit. And all of the hatred, the confusion, the anger that he has that is there, he can use it to ingrain himself, to use the dark side as a shield, right? It's like a literal Iron Man suit, and he's in an Iron Man suit, right? And he's using the Force to power him. That's something that Saw Gerrera couldn't do. And so when we think about the fact that only Luke Skywalker, only his son could redeem him, could help him complete his mission as the chosen one, to destroy the Sith and restore balance to the galaxy, right? He'd already destroyed the Jedi. Now he's destroyed the Sith. You start to think like Vader has these issues. He's twisted. He's broken. He's hurting. And the only salve that could heal his wounded heart is the love of his son, the son that he thought he lost, all the way up until his son managed to destroy the Death Star. And through that act, he was able to learn the true identity of who destroyed the Death Star, to discover that Palpatine lied to him. This person that he trusted lied to him about the fate of his wife and his son, that everyone covered everything up and concealed all of it, right? The minute that Vader discovers he has a son, right? It's funny. Luke is a new hope in so many different ways. He was a new hope for the galaxy, a new hope for the rebellion, but he was also a new hope for his father, because he thought he'd lost everything, right? And he has this name, Darth Vader, the Dark Father, the father who loses, he has no children. Why is he the father, right? He was given that name while Padme was still alive, right? But the Dark Father, who through the love of his son returns to the light. So I'm not saying, oh, Vader definitely has PTSD, but it's a new way of looking at Anakin, to look at Anakin in the Clone Wars, which redeemed him, the Clone Wars, the animated series. And then when you go back and look at this original trilogy, the original saga, this guy is hurting, and the only thing keeping him going is his anger, until he discovers he has a son. And now there's something new going, but it's still anger. The anger has been turned and directed towards Palpatine, right? He's on this unrelenting mission to get Luke by his side so that he can go and extract his revenge on Palpatine, which he eventually does. It's not quite the way he envisioned it. It was so that he could save his son. But those are my thoughts. I just wanted to share that with all of you. What do you think about everything I've had to say? Does this change the way that you now look at Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader? And could it potentially give us some things that we might see later in both Kylo Ren and in Luke Skywalker? So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, and I'll be checking back to see what you all have to say. If you haven't subscribed already, go ahead and click on the subscribe button so that you can take your first steps towards becoming an urban acolyte. Make the commitment towards becoming the hero of your own story and become a force for change in your community. Make sure to continue to support the channel. You can check out my latest video, or you can check out whatever video YouTube has handpicked for you to watch next. But that's all I got for this one, so thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you. Always.